Seth Rollins was supposed to be the future of WWE. He had everything: the look, the charisma, the in-ring skill, and the backing of Triple H. By 2015, he had done it all: broken up the Shield, won Money in the Bank, and cashed it in at WrestleMania 31 to become WWE World Champion at just 28 years old. The first ever cash-in at WrestleMania. For a brief moment, it felt like Seth Rollins was unstoppable. But despite main eventing WrestleMania and holding multiple championships, he's never fully become the guy. Injuries, timing, and creative missteps would keep him from reaching WWE's ultimate spot. Chapter 1. Early career and NXT. Before WWE, Seth Rollins was known as Tyler Black in Ring of Honor, where he established himself as one of the best young talents in the world. When WWE signed him, he entered the developmental system, first in FCW, then in NXT. Here, he was immediately impressive. Rollins became the first ever NXT champion, showing fans and management that he could carry a brand on his own. But WWE's main roster was a different challenge. Chapter 2. The Shield Era, 2012 to 2014. Seth Rollins debuted on the main roster in 2012 as part of The Shield alongside Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose. The Shield was presented as mercenaries hired initially to protect CM Punk, but quickly became a dominant force in WWE. The group was a breakout success. They had perfect chemistry, compelling stories, and a clear us versus the world mentality that fans gravitated toward. During this time, Rollins' abilities were on full display. He could wrestle anyone, tell a story in the ring, and carry a high-pressure match with ease. Yet, even as part of the Shield, it was clear that Rollins was the most technically complete wrestler in the group. Roman had the look, Dean had the mic skills, but Rollins combined athleticism, versatility, and charisma in a way that suggested he could go all the way to the top. The Shield's dominance culminated in matches against top-tier talent and legends, including a very memorable feud with the reunited Evolution. Rollins often played a central role in these matches, showcasing his ability to handle the company's biggest stars while still telling a coherent story in the ring. It was the perfect proving ground, not only for his in-ring ability, but for his potential as a main eventer once the group eventually disbanded. Chapter 3. The future is now. In 2014, the Shield split, and WWE began positioning each member for solo stardom. While Roman Reigns was being groomed as the new face of the company, it quickly became clear that Seth Rollins was the one most prepared to carry WWE. His catchphrase at the time, "The future is now," perfectly encapsulated the company's vision for him. After the breakup, Rollins aligned himself with the Authority. This heel turn was a pivotal moment. It allowed Rollins to establish himself as a top antagonist while setting up one of the most memorable rises in recent WWE history. Rollins won the Money in the Bank contract in 2014, a guaranteed opportunity to challenge for the WWE Championship at a time of his choosing. WrestleMania 31 would be his moment. The match featured Brock Lesnar defending the title against Roman Reigns, who was being heavily promoted as WWE's next golden boy. However, fan reactions had already begun to clash with WWE's plans. Reigns' push was met with skepticism and rejection. Many fans were unsure who to root for: the over-pushed Lesnar or the fresh-faced Reigns, who fans felt was already being shoved down their throats. Brock had been champion for a long period, and audiences were craving something new. Rollins' cash-in during the main event was the perfect solution. It provided a shocking twist, gave fans a new young champion, and sidestepped the audience's rejection of Reigns. At just 28 years old, Seth Rollins had reached the top of WWE. For a brief period, Rollins seemed unstoppable. Yet, even at the peak of this meteoric rise, fate and circumstance would soon intervene, setting the stage for challenges that would prevent Rollins from fully claiming the mantle as the guy. Chapter 4. The 2015 injury. In November 2015, Rollins suffered a devastating knee injury during a house show, tearing his ACL, MCL, and his meniscus. He had to relinquish the WWE Championship, halting the momentum he had carefully built. The injury wasn't just physical. It disrupted storylines, stalled his push as the top star, and gave WWE the opportunity to refocus on Roman Reigns as the company's new main character. By the time Rollins returned in mid-2016, the landscape had shifted. Chapter 5, Rebuilding and Challenges, 2016 to 2018. After returning from injury, Seth Rollins rebuilt himself in multiple ways. Rollins was booked as a dependable workhorse who could carry matches and elevate talent. During this period, fans saw some of Rollins' best matches. He remained a central figure in WWE's major storylines, yet he was often overshadowed by others who were being groomed as the company's centerpiece, especially Roman Reigns. Chapter 6, 2019 Royal Rumble and WrestleMania 35. 2019 presented Seth Rollins with a rare second chance to become WWE's top star. That year, he entered the Royal Rumble and won, earning a guaranteed title shot at WrestleMania 35. At the time, Roman Reigns had stepped away due to leukemia, leaving a clear gap at the very top of WWE. Rollins' WrestleMania moment came against Brock Lesnar, one of the toughest opponents in WWE and someone he has history with. Beating Lesnar on this stage was meant to cement Rollins as the company's new face, a defining achievement that could finally place him at the top of the WWE food chain. However, there were complications. The official WrestleMania main event spot went to Seth's wife, Becky Lynch, the first ever women's match to main event WrestleMania. As a result, Rollins and Lesnar opened the show instead of closing it. Opening the card meant Seth wasn't positioned as the ultimate main event star in the eyes of the audience, a subtle but important factor in perception. Even with an impressive WrestleMania victory over Lesnar, Rollins' push struggled to resonate. He had the skill, the momentum, and the accolades, but the combination of creative missteps, overbooking, and audience fatigue prevented him from truly reaching the top and staying there. Chapter 7, Supporting Act. When Cody Rhodes returned to WWE in 2022, Seth Rollins was once again positioned as a supporting figure. He helped elevate Rhodes, often losing key matches, and became central to storylines without being the ultimate focus. From WrestleMania 36 through WrestleMania 40, Rollins remained at the center of major events, but he was consistently played second fiddle. Injuries, creative decisions, and timing continued to prevent him from fully claiming the top spot. Rollins did capture the newly introduced World Heavyweight Championship during this period. However, the title was essentially created because Roman Reigns, the undisputed WWE Universal Champion, had held his championship for over 1,000 days and had competed on a limited schedule. Even Reigns himself referred to it as a consolation prize. Once again, Rollins' run at the top, even in 2025, were interrupted by injuries, echoing the setbacks he faced in 2015. Despite his talent, work ethic, and ability to carry major storylines, he repeatedly found himself just shy of being the company's central figure. Seth Rollins will always be remembered as one of the greatest performers of his generation. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to follow the channel. Right now, we're posting daily videos for 12 days of Christmas.